Hi everybody, this is Jim. I wanted to show one more game of Sam Sevian's, and this is from quite a while ago. It's from 2008. Sam was 7 years old at the time. Turns out that when Sam was growing up, he was playing chess in this area. And before he reached the point where he was too highly rated to be in the same category as me, I actually had one chance to play a game against him. So this game from August of 2008, I had the white pieces and Sam had the black pieces. Now at the time, my rating was 1658, so I was a Class B player. And Sam's rating was 1854, so he was a Class A player already. He'd been playing for about 2 years. He started his first recorded game, first tournament game was played in August of 2006, so almost exactly 2 years he'd been playing, and he had already reached the level of a Class A player, quite a good player. And of course, since then, I've gone on from Class B to Class A, where I am now, and Sam has gone on from Class A to Grandmaster, so his rate of increase was slightly greater than mine. But anyway, this was an interesting game, played at a local tournament, and it was also my last chance to play him because shortly thereafter, by 2009, he had made expert. So a year later, he was already an expert, and he was just playing in higher categories. He was playing in open and expert sections, and I was still playing in the class section. So my only chance to play a game against Samuel Sevian. And so I had the white pieces. I started off with e4. He played e5. And even as today, a very classically inclined player. And I played, as I often do, you've seen me play this in blitz games, I play the Italian opening. So the Italian game. He plays knight f6, the two knights defense. And whenever I see the two knights defense, I just have to play the move knight g5. Let's see. It's not actually the most popular move. The more solid move, d3. Is a little bit more popular, and there's also the interesting move d4, a more attacking kind of move. Those are also choices here. Knight g5 is the second most popular move, the fried liver attack, and in the main line, white just wins a pawn here. This is the main line, d5, and taking the pawn, and now the knight goes here, and the bishop goes here with check. So white's gained a pawn. And he's got his pieces out, but black gets easy development for his pieces too. So there's not like this is still considered a good way for black to play. The engine rates this as about even. And right here, we've been following the main line, and the main move here is bishop to e2, just retreating the bishop. But I never particularly cared for this move. I like the move queen f3. This is known as the Bogolyubov variation of the two knights. It's an interesting idea. You're pinning the pawn so that the pawn can't take the bishop. And and let's see. The normal move for black here is rook b8, just attacking the bishop a second time. Sam was a bit surprised when I played this move, so maybe he wasn't even aware. He was playing the main line. He might not have been aware of this queen f3 move, or maybe he didn't remember right away what the main move was. But anyway, he played the move bishop to b7, breaking this pin, because the bishop is defended by the knight. So now my bishop is really under threat, and I retreat the bishop. But this position, it turns out, is slightly better for white, so not the best way to play, although still interesting. It's not like it's winning for white, just a slight edge for white. And the game continues from here. I should point out, I could have retreated my bishop to d6 or e2. d6 is kind of interesting, holding up this square. I don't really like retreating the bishop all the way back to e2. It seems like it's kind of out of the way. So when I play this line, I almost always choose to retreat my bishop over to this side of the board with the idea of coming to b3 and getting some pressure on this diagonal. And if he wants to trade pieces while I'm a pawn up, I'm usually okay with that. Anyway, that's my idea in playing this opening. He played bishop d6, just developing. I want knight c3, getting my pieces out. I always have to worry about this pawn push here, and also worry about this knight getting stranded. It's currently not defended. And so the tempo move by this knight will generate an attack on my knight. So just things to be wary of if you're playing this opening. Black castles. I played d3, so it's important. And now I'm feeling pretty good. I've got my knight defended. I've got this pawn push to e5 stopped, and I'm still a pawn up. So it's pretty good position for white. So c5 is played here, kicking my queen, and I play knight to e4. Yeah, so I want to retreat the knight. You know, it's going into a pin here, but he can't immediately exploit it. So I think this is okay. He takes the knight, and I take back with the pawn. And now I've got a good pawn on e4. I like this position. It pretty much puts an end to ideas of, well, he still tries to exploit the pin. He plays the move f5, but I can just drop my queen back, and I get out of the pin, and I've defended the pawn. So interesting play so far, but still a slight edge to white. I'm still maintaining my edge. So he goes bishop c7, dropping the bishop back, opening a line for his queen. I castle, and he pushes on with f4, just gaining space on the queen side, and with ideas, I guess, of kingside attack. So I played g3, which is actually a mistake. It's kind of a natural move. I mean, I kind of want to undermine this pawn, but the pawn can be pushed forward. I didn't really fully appreciate that. So the chess engine here is recommending leaving the pawns as they are and continuing with rook d1. And then rook to d7. So just playing actively with the pieces and waiting for black to push these pawns forward, not overly being too eager and pushing my pawns. In fact, they often say, you know, pushing pawns in front of your king is a bad idea. It creates weaknesses. And so Sam pushes on with f3. Kicks my queen away, so I go to d3. I'm happy with a queen trade here because I'm still material up. And in fact, I would like a queen trade because I'm always worried about his queen showing up on this square and checkmating me at this point. So, of course, Sam doesn't want a queen trade. He moves the queen over to the king side, and I get my knight to d5. So still with an edge to white. It's not like I've given up an advantage. I just haven't given up much of an advantage, but I haven't played in the most accurate way. So he takes the knight, and I decided to take back with the pawn, giving myself a passed pawn for the endgame. He goes rook a to d8, and I go c4. And he goes rook to d6, blockading the pawn and also getting this piece ready to join in the king side attack. So right here, no, I'm still doing okay here. I play bishop c2, setting up some counter threats. And he goes g6 to block that. And I go bishop h6, taking advantage of the weakness that was created, putting my bishop on a square and hitting his rook. Rook goes to e8. And now I go rook f to e1, getting my rook on to an active post in the center. And also it opens up the idea of queen to f8, so I can defend against his queen showing up on h3 and threatening to checkmate. So important defensive maneuver. He goes rook e7, and I go rook e3, and this is a mistake. Very natural move. I'm just trying to round up this pawn on f3 and you know, get rid of this threat to my king once and for all. So pretty natural move, but this really gives up my advantage, and black actually starts to get the advantage after this. So what should I play? The chess engine is recommending h4. Just give my king some lift, and then after that, bishop to g5. Of course, that would help. Of course, he's going to move his queen away. He's not going to fall for that tactic of the skewer, but I guess that gains some important squares for my pieces. And just leaving this pawn here for the moment. So I guess I'm just, I mean, it's a good idea to get rid of this pawn. I guess my timing is just off. So I play rook e3, and he goes with g5. Okay, that's the flaw with the move, and why I needed to play h4 and bishop g5. My bishop is just trapped here. There's no way out. So anyway, I give up my bishop for a pawn. I figured that was the best I can do. So let's back up. So this was my mistake. So rook to e3 was a natural move, but I was overlooking this tactic that it traps my bishop. So that's a lesson there. You got to always be alert to these tactics. The bishop seems like it's in a good spot, but it's actually vulnerable there to this g5 idea. Okay, so he plays g5 and grabs my bishop. And even here, black has an advantage, but it's not a completely winning advantage. It's just a slight edge. thing is, I have pretty active pieces, and his king is exposed, and his extra piece is this knight over here on the side of the board where it's not doing a whole lot. And I also have 2 pawns, I think. After I round up f3, I'll have 2 pawns for the piece. So, you know, I'm still in the game here, I guess. Rook A to e1 was played here. Yeah, that's me. Double up my rooks, go after this pawn. He plays rook to f6. And now I grab on f3. I'm not sure why I didn't grab it. It was a while since I played this game. I'm not sure why I didn't grab the pawn immediately. Why did I, excuse me, I don't mean to draw those arrows. I don't know why I played that move rook A to e1 first instead of grabbing immediately. But this is about the same. He takes and I take. So I've finally gotten rid of that thorn in my side pawn on f3. I'm still a piece down, but his knight is still out of play, and the game is still about even. With edge to black. I'm sorry, not entirely even, but still playable, I guess. It's the way to look at it. So knight takes c4. I've given up a pawn over here. But once again, I should play the move h4, the engine thinks, and maintain something kind of playable. Instead, I played the move queen to d3. Okay, setting up for this attack again, and hitting his knight. But, well, this attack really isn't going anywhere. This pawn is defended, and at this point, black is just clearly winning. He just drops his knight back to d6. So he's gotten his knight, which was out of play. He's gotten his knight into play. He's blockaded my passed pawn. And, well, I still have a couple pawns. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 to 4. I still have 2 pawns for the piece. But now, since black has activated his pieces, his king is looking relatively secure. And black is just clearly winning this game. I should probably still think about the move h4 here. Instead, I lashed out with the move f4, just trying to create some trouble. I realized the game was going downhill for me, and I figured I should probably try and open up some more lines, maybe make his king a little bit less secure. He played e takes f4, I trade rooks, and then I grab the pawn back. Now, objectively speaking, this is not a good transaction. I actually increased black's advantage a little bit by, you know, I've weakened my pawns here. These are all isolated pawns that can come under attack. But I have gotten rid of one of the defenders around his king, so I've accomplished a little bit of something, at least in a practical sense. So Sam pushes on with c4. I play queen g3 check. Getting this check in, he goes to f8 with his king. And I move my king to g2. I was worried, I guess, about this bishop check. In fact, Sam plays bishop to b6, so I was just getting out of that check in advance, I guess. And queen to f3 played. I'm just kind of maneuvering here. I don't know if I have a great idea. Queen g7 check. And I went to h3 with my king. And now Sam starts to mop up my pawns here. He grabs a pawn on b2. Still, yeah, actually, black's advantage is increasing, and it's now pretty clear win. But I do get to grab this pawn on h7, so I've eliminated one more pawn in the pawn cover around his king, and I stay 2 pawns up. He played queen to bishop takes h7. Yeah, he played queen to h8, and pinning my bishop. But actually, let's back up. This was yeah, the chess engine is okay with just grabbing another pawn here and reducing my pawn advantage. So it turns out he can't actually win this bishop. It looks like an important pin, but I can defend it with queen h5. And now Sam makes a mistake. So this has been a long game. This is the last round of the tournament, and so maybe he's a little bit tired. He made this move a little bit quickly. And of course, he's only 7 years old, remember that. So he played the move king to g7 with the idea of just trapping my bishop. You know, the bishop is pinned. I can't really move it away. I could move it here to defend my queen. But I think he's just trying to force some trades and go into a easily winning endgame. But this is a mistake because I have a good move here. And so if you want to check a chance to consider this position and see if you can find the best move here. There's only one good move here for white. Okay, I'm going to give the answer away. Pause the video if you want time to consider it. The answer is Queen G6 check. And you might not think at first this accomplishes a whole lot, but you just have to look ahead one move. There's only one square that the king can go to, which is back here to F8, and then I can grab the knight with check. Very important to grab with check, because otherwise my bishop is hanging. And suddenly the situation is reversed. I've gotten my piece back, and I've remained 2 pawns up, and now white is winning. Sam moved his king to F7. I just played the check again. King went to E7. And then I moved my king to G4 to get out of the pin. So Sam tries to generate some counterplay with C3. And I push my pawns forward. I push H4. He goes, now the queen and the bishop, of course, are stopping this pawn from advancing further. He plays bishop to D4, just coordinating his pieces. I go H5. I'm not sure why. This is kind of strange. Oh, I guess I can't remember why I was pushing the H pawn instead of the F pawn, which seems more natural. But I guess with his bishop and queen here, I can never get past this F6 square with that pawn. The other move I should probably really be thinking about is the D pawn coming forward with check. But anyway, I was pushing the H pawn. We were probably both a little short on time. And but I figured I didn't have to do a whole lot here, because I'm just winning from a material point of view if I don't blunder something. So he went queen to F8. I played queen to E4 check. Is that right? Oh yeah, that's my pawn there. Okay, queen to E4 check. Yeah, so this picks up the bishop. So at this point, he needed to play something other than that move. Queen to G7 is the recommended move. Just going here and trading queens, but that would be a losing endgame, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, yeah, this move here, queen to F8, allows this check, picking up the bishop, and now the game is actually all over. The king went to F7. I grabbed the bishop, and he plays queen to C8 check, checking along this diagonal. Drop the king back to G3. Plays C2, trying to get his last pawn going. Well, get his only counterplay going. I just grab that, giving up the bishop, because after this I have enough pawns to win with 3 extra pawns. He can still maybe go for some kind of perpetual check or draw idea. I play queen takes A7 check, getting rid of his last pawn. He goes king to F6. And I go queen to A6 check. He goes king to F7. And now I get the queen to G6 check. And this forces an exchange of queens. So he takes, I take, he takes, and I just play the move A4. And he resigns here because he's outside the square of the pawn. He just can't stop that from queening. So a very good game, and a lucky win for me. He really had outplayed me throughout most of the game, and then he just got a little bit careless towards the end, in time trouble and after a tournament. It was the last round of a tournament. So and of course, like I said, he was 7 years old. So, but it was a fun game. I enjoyed that, and now I have a lifetime record of 1 win and no losses against Grandmaster Sevian. So I will always remember that one. And hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.